You're listening to After Hours FM.
Hey guys,
Hello. Today is a very special day.
this is our 20th episode.
Whoa.
What?
20 episodes.
That's literally insane.
We're celebrating by having a little
Drink.
drink.
20 episodes means we've been doing this for 40 weeks.
Damn. Damn, that's low-key crazy.
That's so cute.
That's literally almost a year.
That's insane. Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah, in October it's gonna be a year.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Let that sink in.
And we thought it'd be fit. I feel like we foreshadowed what this was going to be about.
Yeah, we did in other episodes.
I don't know if it made the final cut though.
I think it did.
Period. Today is going to be about embarrassment.
Embarrassment.
Are you embarrassed?
This is embarrassing.
Except it's not though, because embarrassment these days,
Is a social construct.
yes, and we will be talking about that.
We will be pleading our point. And you know what? It's really convincing. So stay until the end. And by the way, if you're wondering what we're drinking, it's anti-embarrassment potion.
Yeah, it is. And also today we're barefaced.
We are.
No makeup.
I drew
Trigger warning.
I drew an eyebrow tail on my left eyebrow because I plucked it off.
And that is okay. I have a pimple patch on because listen, it's just been exam like thesis season. My skin has not been doing too hot.
That's
Can I
okay.
live, you know?
That's okay.
But other than that, we're giving bare, we're giving pure, we're giving
Yeah.
honest, which is what we will be
What will
mentioning
we-
today.
Not even my hair looks the way it
Bro,
it
our hair is
does.
greasy as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, it's-
And
and guess what? We're not embarrassed.
no, and also no, like no contacts, nothing.
Nothing. And that's okay. And we're going to tell you why.
Why?
Okay. So, like we mentioned at the beginning, embarrassment is socially constructed.
Yes.
However, it actually did serve a purpose back in the day. It was developed evolutionary as a mechanism to ensure social inclusion. I'll talk a little bit more in a second.
So it's not totally a social
No,
construct.
no. I mean, it still is though, because it still guides social behavior. Like it is about
Yeah, but it wasn't constructed socially. It was constructed
evolutionary.
biologically. Yeah.
Yeah, true. That's true. But now it has arguably become a social construct because we as a society currently have taken it so far, and it's just now it's kind of used as a tool to hold us back. Like even if you think about us starting this podcast, the thing that was holding us back was embarrassment.
Genuinely.
And I'm sure that you watching have something in mind that you want to do or would do hypothetically in a perfect world, whatever it is that your hypothetical is, but ultimately you don't do it because you feel embarrassed. Which, please think about that and let this be your sign to not let that hold you back. So the definition, according to Oxford Learners Dictionaries of embarrassment, is shy, uncomfortable, or guilty feelings.
Okay, not to foreshadow, but that's literally how I feel. Like
Now,
no, like that's just I feel like those are my default settings in my day-to-day life.
Loki, same. And that's a problem, but that's okay.
It's okay.
It's like that, it's fine. At least you're aware, you know?
yeah.
I just said something about how it's evolutionary developed. So evolutionary psychologists believe embarrassment developed as a way to acknowledge mistakes, signal, signal,
Signal.
remorse, and reduce conflict within groups. This helped humans back in the day stay included in their group, which was critical for survival, of course, because you didn't stand a chance by yourself back in the day.
Wait, this makes so much sense because if you think about it, there are some people who don't feel embarrassed enough, and it kind of ruins the whole social setting. For example, Timothy Chalamet shitting on ballet and opera and not feeling embarrassed for it and not saying sorry. That's the reason why a lot of people stopped liking him. So it would have helped if he was embarrassed. That would have been good for his social inclusion.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And also secondhand embarrassment is also it's human because it shows like compassion and empathy kind of because you see somebody do something embarrassed and you're like you're kind of hurting for them, quote unquote. Which is also a very old mechanism.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then shame, which kind of goes hand in hand with embarrassment, I would say. I think. No, it does. Shame, which goes hand in hand with embarrassment, also helped earlier humans to become more valued by group members, which would have led them to receive more support in times of hunger and conflict. And oh, yeah, this would also increase their reproductive success because obviously people would like them better. Um, and people who show embarrassment are seen as more trustworthy and cooperative because you are embarrassed because you're not adhering to social norms.
Yeah.
And then when people see that you're embarrassed, they're like, oh, you give a fuck about social norms. So
Yeah,
then they're
you're
like,
aware.
yeah. And then embarrassment is also kind of like, oh, like I feel bad because I didn't do this according to what's good and what's normal. And then people see that and they're like, okay, they feel bad. They do, like, they're good people. Whatever, we'll
Yeah,
forgive
they
them.
know what's good and normal.
Yeah, exactly. And then blushing, for example, I found this article on blushing, which seems like it has no purpose. But that actually is an extension of this because it shows kind of embarrassment, and so it makes a person seem more forgivable or trustworthy.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. So that's why we find blushing cute.
Yeah, because we
Oh
see like,
wow.
oh, like they
They're
care.
embarrassed,
Yeah,
they're shy.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's cute. But yeah, it is a real thing, and it actually, you might hate it, but it works in your favor.
Throwback.
According to this study by Feinberg, Matthew Willer, Rob Keltner, and Docker. I don't know if I just mixed first and last names, but just know
It kind of sounds like a mix of first and last names.
when do we feel embarrassed. So, like we previously mentioned, embarrassment helps us to follow mostly unwritten social norms and can function as an internal guide, right? So, according to the American scientists, the feeling of embarrassment arises when we perceive or anticipate that other people are forming negative impressions of us. However, though, we also feel embarrassed when people, for example, sing happy birthday to you at a restaurant or when you receive praise or compliments, which wouldn't really apply if we only use the previous
Definition?
theory or hypothesis.
No, but kind of when they sing happy birthday, I don't feel embarrassed for the group that's singing it, but I feel embarrassed for everyone who's watching and is not part of that group. And they're
Because you
like,
think they're forming negative opinions on you.
yeah, because it's like, oh my god, this is so annoying. These people are singing for her. Or it could be for the group because you're like, oh, they're singing this, but they don't want to sing this, and blah, blah, blah.
But what about when you get a compliment or when you get like a lot of praise? Do you still feel
No, that makes no sense.
exactly? So that leads,
Because they're lying.
but
That's
then
what
it
they're
makes no
assuming.
sense to be embarrassed.
If you anticipate. No, true.
So then the theory kind of the hypothesis kind of gets extended to that the fact that embarrassment also arises when people anticipate a disruption of smooth social interaction. So they're worried about a situation becoming awkward and them not knowing what to do next.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, but the key word here is anticipate, which means that essentially we are worried and reacting to a response we have created in our own head that we don't actually know exists or like hasn't happened yet because you don't usually get feedback like, holy shit, this was so annoying. You know, nobody says that.
True.
So think about that. Like it Loki is all in your head.
Oftentimes, yes.
Yeah. And I know I said it has a useful function, embarrassment, and
It
it
does.
still does for sure when you're growing up, for example. Um, but just currently these days we tend to just blow it out of proportion because getting embarrassed about little things won't lead to social exclusion these days. Like if people sing happy birthday to you, you won't have no friends anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Whereas back in the day it was that serious. And now it's just, oh my god, if I wear this dress and it's out of my comfort zone and people can tell, then they're never going to talk to me again and I'm going to die. Like it just
That's how fast that thought process goes.
no, but people do take it that seriously. Like it is that serious. That's why people don't follow their dreams because they're embarrassed.
That is so sad.
Yeah, and it's like embarrassed about
What?
shit that you created in your head that you
Yeah.
anticipate will happen, basically. Um Because another example, for example, when you're drawing something and you show your drawing, you're a little bit embarrassed because you think, oh my god, you might think it's ugly, or you might think something of me by extension of that. But usually nobody thinks that. Like, think about if somebody showed me a drawing that they made, I would be like, oh my god, that's so cute. And like, even if it's not good, nobody's gonna say that. Like, you're not gonna say that.
That, and like some people are scared because even though it's not said out loud, they still secretly think that. And I was recently talking to two people. One of them said that people say that no one else remembers your embarrassing moments, but they always remember other people's embarrassing moments. And then I was like, okay, I also sometimes remember other people's embarrassing moments, but I never respect them less, or like I never think less of them because they did something embarrassing. Like I just think that makes you more human, and it's everybody makes mistakes. Like I'm not going to think less of you because of your embarrassing moments. And then they agreed and they were like, "No, true. Like I would never respect them less because of something embarrassing that they did."
Yeah, it won't impact your overall perception of them.
Yeah, and it's not going to make you socially excluded if you do some embarrassing things from time to time.
Yeah, so embarrassment doesn't serve its social purpose anymore that it did back in the day.
Exactly.
It's just not like that anymore. So yeah. I just 5 seconds ago said nobody's going to say that. Nobody's going to let you know that, like, nobody's going to say that just straight up outright. But there's a huge caveat to that. Caveat, however the fuck you want to say it. Social media.
Yeah, people will be saying that you're
Yeah,
embarrassing now.
but it can relieve embarrassment, but it can also very much
Enforce it.
exacerbate, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
embarrassment and make it like 10 times worse. It just makes social media as a whole makes navigating embarrassment very tricky. Because it can be an instance where people share an embarrassing story and people in the comments will laugh because it's presented in a funny way, or they will share their own embarrassing stories to make the creator of the video feel less alone, or to make the audience that's reading the comments, that's watching the video, feel less alone. And it can be like a whole acute sphere where everybody's connected and like just say like a safe space, I guess. And people feel less alone and it makes them feel less bad about themselves
I
and
love
not
when that
alone.
happens. I love when the
Yeah.
internet does its job and turns us into a community and a beautiful network of
What it
different
was
people
promised to
bonding.
become.
Literally.
However, a lot of times, if not most times, little things get blown out of proportion online and people may receive hate and become known for doing something embarrassing. And so, in that case, it will impact their social image and it can lead to exclusion because that becomes their brand or they get absolutely obliterated for it or both.
Yeah, like so many people online literally are famous because you laugh at them, or like you make them famous not because you want to support them as people, but just because you're laughing at them. Like for example, Gabby Hanna. Unfortunately, the majority of her followers are not actually people who care about her, but are just people who think she has funny moments. Or
Or maybe now because she's a Christian girl, though, because hasn't she turned Christian or something?
yeah, but there's also Christian people who are respected on TikTok.
Yeah, but I think maybe now she attracted a new audience because she's become Christian.
Oh, in that
Get what
sense,
I'm saying?
okay, whatever that means. But also Trisha Paytas, I don't think most people follow her
People
because
do stan her though,
I
for
I
real.
know. Yeah, but like people just follow those people
Crazy.
because they're funny and they make fun of them and they say funny things according to people,
Hmm.
and they often think they are embarrassing. Most people do not think Gabby Hanna's um freaking poem, like who hate that,
Slam poetry.
slam poetry is relatable. They think it's funny and that's why they quote it.
True
And you know what? I also think it's funny. And I also quote
as
it.
fuck.
So I'm not gonna act like I'm
Didn't we make
superior.
a TikTok of her audio one time?
Not this audio, but a
No,
different
another
one.
one though of Gabby Hanna's.
Yeah.
It's the same principle though.
Yeah, yeah. It was like, people will clutch onto you as
Yeah.
hard as you can. Point the trigger.
Pull
No.
the
Point the
trigger.
finger.
Pull the trigger. I wrote down as examples Debbie Ryan,
Yes!
Joey King, but I mean the
Oh
specific
my
moment on the Met
god.
Gala, and the big banger Taylor Swift. Sue me, but I genuinely believe that like, and I'm talking about her lyrics and the way she commercializes her music and her brand. People think it's so. People just like they just think she is embarrassing.
They think that about every single woman in the industry.
Yeah, but the bigger you get, the worse it gets.
Yeah, but that's the only reason. For example, I think if Debbie Ryan's kind of embarrassing reputation is a bit different than Taylor Swift's because Debbie Ryan has no serious
No,
fans
no, no. I'm not talking about Taylor Swift in the
as
way
a
she
person.
acts.
Mm.
Like I mean her in a way that she, for example, when she put out, like she keeps putting shit out. She I don't know if maybe she does have a corporate mindset. I don't fucking know, but
Well,
like
yeah.
yeah, and let her, like I don't give a fuck, but people give her a lot of shit for that. And it's like, for example, Drake put out 3 albums and then it doesn't matter, or like
Uh,
she writes one.
no, I would argue that Drake is one of the people like Debbie Ryan and Joey King.
No, absolutely not. He has,
Really?
yes, the
Okay,
bros
yeah.
will go to war for that
Yeah,
guy.
the men who don't believe he had a BBL and a freaking liposuction.
BBL?
You don't know the rumors about Drake and the BBL? And
Okay,
I do think he had a BBL.
whatever. I don't want to go into
And he
this.
also had like ab construction surgery.
Okay, but I feel like he's not the only one. Like I feel like a lot of people do that probably in the industry
Yeah, but the
nowadays.
point is the guys who ignore that and like say like no, he's not a pedophile. He
No,
didn't
but
have.
like I promise you, he has like a huge
Yeah, yeah,
fan
yeah,
base
yeah.
of people who actually do take him very seriously and think he writes amazing music. So
Mhm.
don't even like.
How many matchas can
And
you drink in a day?
bro, we need to make a TikTok with that, Loki.
We have to.
But I mean also the way that she, like everything she does, I think because it seems a little inauthentic because she does mass produce music a little bit, like with all the different vinyls. Like everybody just, if she does it, it's super weird and embarrassing. But if, for example, some lyrics on Olivia Rodrigo's new album, if Taylor Swift had written them, it would not, they would not let it slide. Like it would not be okay. It would be the most cringiest bullshit ever. If
Yeah.
Taylor Swift released 3 albums, it would be a catastrophe. Like it would be horrific. That's what I mean. It's not like everything she does is embarrassing.
Okay,
Do you get what I'm saying?
I get it.
But it's not in the same way.
Yeah.
Sure. But also,
Like no, I mean I don't mean that. I mean it more like this is solely because she is so popular and loved by women.
that's true.
So is Olivia Rodrigo, but I think her fans are mostly younger girls, so it's not.
And she's
And
not
she's
as,
also younger. And the older you get as a woman, the more
they want to see you fail.
yeah, the more embarrassing you are
Yeah.
according to society. So
Literally, they don't want to see her succeed for real. And also Olivia Rodrigo's fan, like she's just a little bit of a smaller artist compared to Taylor Swift. I would
yeah.
say. Also notice how these are all women, and this would not be an After Hours FM episode
If we didn't mention discrimination,
because yes, I fear embarrassment is a tool of oppression.
has been used as a tool of oppression since literally the dawn of time.
Literally, I'm so sorry to bring this news to you. We wish we didn't talk about discrimination so much either. Trust
You know
me.
what? You know what? I will give the first example. People who say, "Oh, I hate my caca brown eyes." Girl, shut the fuck up. Why the fuck are you hating on brown eyes? Are you serious? This is white supremacists enforcing embarrassment on you as a tool of oppression. Open your eyes. Open your brown caca eyes.
And I'm laughing, but it ain't funny because
It
it's
ain't
literally
funny.
true. Yeah, because noticeably, I'm gonna talk about women though
Yeah, I
a
know.
little bit.
Yeah.
But they are more prone to embarrassment than men. If you're listening, I'm putting this all in quotation marks because this unfortunately did not fall out of a fucking coconut tree. It's not like biologically women get more prone to
No, of
embarrassment.
course not.
It's
Biologically, you can't even really determine who's a woman. So
really think about that. For example, when a man chugs beer and spills half of it, it's, or like literally does anything that's just gross.
like spit on the floor.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, it's just being a man. It's even
Burp.
endearing or like funny. And when a woman, it does so much as having lipstick on her teeth or like a little like something, whatever, it's gross and it's embarrassing and you should lock yourself up and never go outside ever again.
Oh my god, do you know how many people I've met who literally have the smallest sneeze ever? And I'm like, whoa, how is your sneeze so like
But you don't
undercover,
have a control
nonchalant?
about that.
And no, they say because I learned to control my sneeze because I'm embarrassed about it because it used to be loud.
This is
Like
prime
what the actual
misogyny.
fuck? This is literally the prime example of women being embarrassed for shit that men can just do freely.
Literally. This is all misogyny. It's like, it's ridiculous. Another example, it's so sad because women have to deal with this so like early in life compared to men.
Girls, yeah.
Girls, literally girls. Because for example, when a woman or a girl develops boobs or get their periods, it's immediately expected to cover it up and or like at best it's treated as something, as nothing special, like something normal, like no one gives a fuck, or they're embarrassed or embarrassed for
Yeah.
you, or they make you feel embarrassed,
Yes.
or it's like ew, like, "Oh, cover that up, oh my god, I can see your nipples, oh my god, ew, ew,
Yeah.
ew." But when a man like grows a mustache or any type of body hair, it's wow, oh my god, wow, 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 and then they show it off, fucking gross as fuck, their little
Oh
fucking
my
pew
god,
beard or whatever,
yeah.
and it's like the biggest accomplishment of this fucking world. Like,
Oh my god, I have a core memory.
what?
So when I was like 12 in elementary school, there we were practicing for the musical, which you have in the Netherlands when you're 12. And then one of the guys, he was like, "Oh my god, I
You're
think I
saying the music?
Yeah.
It's like a musical you do at the in the last year of primary school.
Yeah.
Every school does that.
Which is when you're 12, by the way, here. But the point is, one of the guys was like, "Yeah, I have armpit hair now." And then the teacher was like, "Whoa, really? Already? That's so manly of you. Whoa." And then he was like showing his armpit hair. And
Ew.
yeah, and I was like, I already had armpit hair. But I was so embarrassed about it and never showed it and removed it whenever I could. And then if I didn't remove it because it was painful and I was avoiding that, I would just wear longer sleeves or just make sure not to raise my arms. And then he was just showing it off to everyone. And that's one of the moments where misogyny clicked for me. I mean, obviously, I've known misogyny for a bit longer than that and in other contexts, but that was just one of those moments where I was like, damn, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
I know. Because also the fact that she called armpit hair manly is so funny to me because it's human, it's not manly.
It is, and like I think it's gross. I don't want
I
to see it.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm sure
In
this is
men, in men, in
yeah,
men.
no, but I'm sure this is also the case in a lot of other cultures, but in my culture it's like normalized for men to shave their armpits. Yeah, because of hygiene.
I did not know this.
Yeah, in a lot of Muslim countries because it's in the Quran, like shave your
Period.
yeah.
Well, okay, I don't think it's a thing in my culture, but I wish it was. Let me tell you. So yeah, women are meant to feel embarrassed so they can stay oppressed and live according to patriarchal norms.
Whoa, yes.
I'm gonna list you some examples. If women go outside without makeup or look messy, it's embarrassing. If women's bodies don't look a certain way and they show their bodies, embarrassing. If women don't speak elegantly or softly, embarrassing. If women play rougher, non-feminine, like considered non-feminine sports, it's embarrassing. Go listen to our women's sports episode.
Please, yes, that's one of my faves.
I loved it too. If women don't dress modestly, it's embarrassing. Go
Embarrassing.
watch our modesty episode. So all in all, being a woman
Is
is
embarrassing.
embarrassing. I titled this part, I forgot to mention at the beginning, "The Shame of Being a Woman," by the way, because that's what it is.
And the most embarrassing thing a woman can do is directly speak against her oppression. Like if you call yourself a feminist and you call out men on their disgusting behavior, so many people around you will think you're being so embarrassing right now. Like that is the epitome of being embarrassing.
Or act like a man. Literally, like,
Oh
act
yeah,
like a man. Not in like
literally.
a big me tomboy type of way, but like do what a man does. And
Yeah,
people will think you're the grossest thing to
most
walk.
embarrassing thing ever. And that's exactly how we keep being oppressed. So
For real. For real.
like I said in the beginning when I mentioned the brown eyes example, this is not just a thing for women, it's a thing for every single minority out there. If you have a different body type or you're not able-bodied and you talk about that or you show it or you think it's annoying when people treat you differently and you speak about that, you're embarrassing. Or if you're
Oh my god, did I already tell this story?
what?
In our 5th year of secondary school, we went to
We were 17,
y-
16.
yeah, I was about to say I was not. Um, we went to, because we went to a school that we got Greek or ancient Greek or Latin. She did Greek, I did Latin, or like you did both for a bit, but like you went on the Greece trip, so we weren't together during this era. But I went to Italy and I got really close with this girl that I wasn't really. I don't know. We were friends, but not like that really. But all my like close friends went to Greece. Yeah, I think I was making a joke. Some teacher was taking a photo of us, and he said I was wearing like a green shirt, and he said something about like my skin tone, but not in a weird way. I don't remember what he said, but I don't think it was offensive. And I kind of said as a joke, like, "Oh, it's because you're racist." I didn't give a shit. Like it was fine, but I just said that, like, "Oh," to her. I was like, "Oh, he's because he's racist," you know.
Yeah.
And she said, why are you always talking about race? Like, why are you always bringing this up? And I was like,
The first time she
why
brought it
are
up.
you? No, it wasn't though. It wasn't the first time I brought it up. I did bring it up more often, but like,
Okay.
it's because it's literally what I experienced. I'm not always joking about it. Like, there is some truth behind it because guess what? Everybody there was racist. So how about that?
Truly watch our video about growing up as the token POC and you will see that we're not exaggerating.
So, and like, I didn't even bring it up that often, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could have, if I really wanted to address everybody, I would have brought it up more, but I didn't because I didn't want to be embarrassed. I didn't want to make it embarrassing because that was what it would have been if I actually called people out. Granted, I wasn't as aware back in the day as I am now. A lot of it went over my head, can't lie.
Oh
But
my god. Wait, yeah.
no, I was just about to say how, like, she was just a white girl. Like, she was literally a white girl telling me that I should shut the fuck up
Her race.
about me low-key being discriminated sometimes.
And you know what? This reminds me of we used to have a pretty queer friend group. Like most of our friends were queer, or most of my friends were. And there was this one girl,
We
and
had the same friends.
yeah, but you also had different friends
That's
who weren't
true.
queer. But anyways, there was this one girl, and she was cis straight, and she thought this was a safe space when she was just with me, and she started saying like, "Don't you think it's low-key annoying that the other friends are only talking about being gay and they're constantly talking about being queer? Like it's getting annoying, blah blah blah." Do you not realize how often straight people talk about being straight? Like everything you do, so many women that are straight are male centered, and so many men that are straight are just straight man centered as well. Like,
As fuck.
and it's so noticeable and it's so annoying and it's so refreshing to be with people who aren't like that. And then you're going to complain about them being too queer and talking about too many queer things. Like,
Oh hell no.
hello? Like, the most annoying thing you can be as a minority is someone who respects themselves and is not embarrassed
Oh my
about
god,
their
so
identity.
true.
And that's how they keep you oppressed.
We are moving on to the case studies. It's like a mix of things, of songs, shows, and movies, what that show embarrassment or like talk about embarrassment, because it truly is omnipresent. It's literally everywhere. And I think the ultimate example song wise is Creep by Radiohead. I mean, I feel like I don't need to read the lyrics to Creep to you because I am sure you know. I would hope so.
You sound like a white supremacist.
Why?
Because they're
Oh,
always
I
like,
already
this
know
is
what
a
you mean.
classic song, and if you don't know this, you're
No,
no
but I
cunt.
feel like people truly do know Creep. I don't care if it hurts. I want to have control. I want a perfect body. I want a perfect soul. I want you to notice when I'm not around. So fucking special. I wish I was special, but I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. So, for example, he's talking about I don't belong here, which is peak embarrassment.
And also thinking you're a creep and you're a weirdo.
Peak embarrassment. You want a perfect body, you want a perfect soul because
You're embarrassed about your soul and your body.
exactly. You want to be special because you feel like you're not and you're inadequate. So, all in all, peak embarrassment. Next, Letter to My 13-Year-Old Self by Leve. You know this song.
No.
Yes, you do. Don't you worry about your curly hair, clothes that don't quite fit you anywhere. Voices echo in the gym. Another girl's had her first kiss. Please don't think too much of it, darling. I'm so sorry that they pick you last. Try to say your foreign name and laugh. I know that you feel loud, so different from the crowd of big blue eyes and long blonde hair and boys that stare. This is Loki art. This is Loki us. This is Loki POC.
Growing up in a predominantly white country.
For real. But it's literally about not fitting in and being socially excluded, which is what embarrassment is about, and just not fitting in.
Yeah,
I also think this is a very good example.
it is. And it's interesting because how you said before, like, oh, it is literally back in the day, it used to be a way to prevent you from being socially outcasted. But nowadays, you are socially outcasted, and those consequences actually happen even though you're embarrassed. So it's not really helping.
Yeah, exactly. And then another example from Brat, Charlie XCX, Sympathy is a Knife. I don't want to share the space. I don't want to force a smile. This one girl taps my insecurities. Don't know if it's real or if I'm spiraling. One voice tells me that they laugh. George says I'm just paranoid, says he just don't see it. He's so naive. I'm embarrassed to have it, but I need the sympathy because I couldn't even be her if I tried. I'm opposite. I'm on the other side. I feel all these feelings I can't control. Oh no, don't know why. All these sympathies, just a knife. Why I can't even grip my teeth and lie.
And what's also funny is that most of these songs are about comparing yourself to other people. Like in Creep, he's like, "You're so fucking special. I wish I was special." In Leve's song, she's talking about girls with blue eyes and blonde hair. And here she's like, "I couldn't even be her if I tried, blah, blah, blah." And it's like, you're good and I'm bad. And it's all about comparing yourself to other people.
It's literally all about social exclusion in this case.
Yeah.
Which now that you know this is pretty clear, but I feel like people wouldn't listen to these songs and think, wow, this is about embarrassment per se.
No. Creep, yeah, but the others, no.
No, like it could be about just feeling inadequate or like I don't know if people would tie that to embarrassment. What?
Yeah, I have another song that I just thought of. But we
Okay.
should do yours first.
Well, I have another one, low-key funny title. It's
Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
yeah, 4 times by the Crash Test Dummies. It's Loki. This one's Loki also peak embarrassment. They basically just share stories that to them are embarrassing. I will read 2 verses. Once there was this kid who got into an accident and couldn't come to school, but when he finally came back, his hair had turned from black into bright white. He said that it was from when the cars had smashed so hard. Once there was this girl who wouldn't go and change with the girls in the change room, but when they finally made her, they saw birthmarks all over her body. She couldn't quite explain it. They'd always just been there. Whatever. I don't need to read the rest, but like
It's obvious.
it is.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, it is. It's a pretty like bummy song. Like they just
That is so
they just be
sad.
sharing trauma.
The song I thought of is like also giving Letter to My 13-year-old self because it's also giving
Is it by Mitski?
yeah.
Bro, I tried to think of of a song of hers, but I couldn't find it.
She was like, "If I could, I'd be your little spoon and kiss your fingers forevermore. But Big Spoon, you have so much to do, and I have nothing ahead of me. You're the sun, you've never seen the night, but you heard song from the morning birds. Well, I'm not the moon, I'm not even a star, but wide awake at night, I'll be singing to the birds." And then she was like, "Your mother wouldn't approve of how my mother raised me, but I do. I finally do." And that really resonated with me because I know a lot of people who grow up in a country where the dominant culture is not your culture and you kind of feel embarrassed for how you are being raised and like your parents' behavior compared to other kids of your age. And it's like, wow, why does my mom have these random rules that other moms don't have? Or why do other moms have rules that my mom doesn't care about? Like, is there something wrong with the way she's raising me? And then when you grow up and you develop your thinking cap a little bit, you start to realize that maybe your mom was actually right about some things, and just because she was the only one to think of those things doesn't mean she was in the wrong.
So true. I'm glad you found that because I couldn't find like I knew
The
there was
Mitski song.
I knew there was a Mitski song and I went through her like a couple of her top songs and I couldn't find it and I was like damn. But
There's
I thought
also
maybe I
more.
hallucinated it. You want to go?
Yeah. Okay, so when I think of peak moments where I felt embarrassed, most of them happened in my adolescent period of life. We also had consciousness before puberty and we also had embarrassing moments before, but I think for most people, the most embarrassing moments start after puberty.
That's also because we were always not like we always looked different.
So you're gonna be aware.
Yeah, if you grow
you're
up as
made
a
aware,
white person in a predominantly white environment,
yeah,
you usually aren't aware of these things, and that's not like that makes sense. It
yeah,
makes sense, but it just wasn't the case for us.
yeah, and it always happens like when other people start pointing it out.
True.
That's also how I became aware of my body and like I don't fucking know.
Everything that's just different about you.
Yeah, and that's also why some people, for example, Leve in her song, she was embarrassed about her curly hair, and that's because she was made aware of that by other people, because why else would she start being embarrassed about that? Meanwhile, I was never embarrassed about it because no one made me aware of it, or if they did, it was in a complimentary way and not in a bad
Period.
way. So that's lucky for me, but unfortunately for a lot of people, it wasn't that way.
Or like when she said, "Try to say your foreign name." That's so
Yeah, whoa, so relatable.
like it's just little things like that that I feel like you wouldn't really realize if you haven't experienced them yourself.
Yeah, that's so real. Well, so because I thought about puberty, I kind of chose two teen shows, slash movies, that are mostly shown to kids, but they are about high school. So the first one is Victorious, and Chica Vampiro, and probably a lot of other shows that I couldn't think of at the time. But in some media, embarrassment is kind of shown as this good thing to have. Like you're embarrassed, you're humble, you don't think about yourself too much, you're not like you're a good person, like Tori or Daisy. And the reason why they can be embarrassed is because they have talent and they are going to be successful in their fields, which is for Tori to become a singer and for Daisy to be a
But when
vampire.
are they embarrassed?
Well, Tori, in the first episode, if you don't remember, she didn't want to be a singer. Like, she was super good at singing, but like
Oh,
it was
yes, yes,
whatever.
yes.
And then Trina had a problem with her tongue because Trina was the singer in the family. And then no one else knew the choreography except for Tori, which Andre knew. Andre knew that she knew. So he was like, "Oh, her sister knows it. Like, put her sister on the stage instead." And Tori was embarrassed. She was like, "No, don't put me on the stage. Like, I don't want to do that." And then he was like, "No, you have to." And they literally forced her against her will to go on the stage. They were carrying her out while she was screaming and hitting them while saying, "No, no, no, I don't want that." And then because she was taken kind of against her consent and still succeeded, and she was embarrassed, but she was able to do it because she had the talent, that was seen as extra honorable and extra good, and seen as a way better scenario than Trina, who loved singing and was super excited about it but was not as good. So they think that stripping away your consent and you being embarrassed about something but still doing it and being good at it is better than someone doing something enthusiastically but not being as good at it. Because
That's
that's
crazy.
cringe.
That's
Yeah, that's
crazy.
cringe. That's embarrassing. And the same, like in Chica Vampiro, it's a bit different. Like, it's about this girl who doesn't want to be a vampire, but she almost dies. And then her parents have to make her a vampire to save her life. So again, her consent is taken away from her. And she's embarrassed about being a vampire. She doesn't want to be it, but because her parents make her a vampire, it's extra honorable and it's extra cool. Meanwhile, her best friend Lucia, she wants to be a vampire, but it's seen as this cringe fantasy hobby that she has, and she's so obsessed and she's so like doing way too much, and it's annoying and it's cringe.
Wow.
So again, as a woman, enthusiasm is the worst thing you can have, and being embarrassed and literally having your consent taken away from you is a good thing. According to this,
Right.
that's what this media teaches kids.
Wow, I never thought about that like that.
Yeah, now you know. Okay, and then there's the other side of the coin of embarrassment, which is media where the message is don't be embarrassed, show people what you got, be who you are. And I think High School Musical is an example of that. If you don't remember, Troy and Gabriella, they love singing and they think it's really
True, that's a
cool,
good example.
but they are kind of judged for their hobbies by their friends. Like for Troy, his best friend Chad is like, ugh, I hate theater. Basketball is way better. Basketball is everything. Basketball is life. Basketball is the only thing for me. And if you even think about other things than basketball, that's weird.
But it was the whole team though. Like it was his
Yeah, yeah,
whole
yeah.
fucking
But
environment.
I yeah, for sure. His dad, the whole team, literally everyone at that school. I mean, they have a whole song about it.
Mhm.
Stick to the status quo, which is what they want you to do. And then at the end of the movie, Troy and Gabriella kind of overcome that embarrassment and they stand up for themselves and they chase their hobbies and they realize like I can be an athlete, but I can also be a singer. Like I can do both. Life is not that limiting, and I'm not gonna let other people decide what's good for me.
So
And
they
they
like
just
overcome embarrassment
yeah,
pretty
and they
much.
just follow their hobby, follow
Period.
their dreams, and they overcome embarrassment. And it teaches kids that you should do what you feel passionate about, and you shouldn't let yourself be put in a box by society.
Period. That's the right way to go about it.
Yeah. However, if you really look at it very critically, you can still see that trope of being embarrassed about your talent or your hobbies as a girl is better than being loud and proud and actively chasing it. For example,
I
Sharpay,
knew you were gonna bring her
she
up.
is painted as the villain. She is a villain in the movie, but they make her hyper feminine. They make her super good at singing, super passionate. She is super involved in her choreography and songs and like how that is um made. Meanwhile, Gabriella is kind of embarrassed about her singing and even yeah,
Reserved.
very reserved. Um, doesn't want to sing, and then at the end of the movie, she sings because Troy is like, "Come up here," and she's still wearing her lab coat, and it just shows like that as a woman or as a girl, the worst thing you can be is ultra confident in yourself
And
and just
proud.
proud and passionate and not silent.
Period. I love High School Musical though.
Same, I love it. And I also think that this movie shows that being embarrassed is not necessarily always a consequence. of overthinking, but it can also be a consequence of real social exclusion and real people around you discouraging you from doing something because they're like trying to protect you from being outcast or from being embarrassing. But
Mm-hmm.
in the meantime, they are really just making you feel even worse when they could
Yeah.
just be supportive and make you
Like
happy
they're
about doing your
enforcing the
hobby.
embarrassment.
They are. So yeah, I also think that's really important
Yeah.
about this movie, about how two people, even though there is a real risk and there is a real like social consequence to it, they still decide to overcome it. Period, as they should.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel like we should end on the note what I've tried to emphasize it here too, that it is truly about anticipating shit. So it's literally about you creating scenarios in your head about how something's going to play out or how people are going to think of you. And it's just such a waste to live your life like that.
It really is. And I also wanted to say about social media that even though it is true that a lot of people will fucking hate on you and think you're embarrassing and they will make sure to comment it, because again, we don't get many comments, but most of our comments are negative. And that's because negative people have the most to say. Like if you think something is funny,
It's
you'll
easy.
just like it
Yeah,
or save it. Or if you're really enthusiastic about it or you want to be loud and proud, you're going to comment on it.
but it's
But
just
if
less likely.
yeah, and if you're mad, then you're going to comment. And you know who is the like largest demographic who comments hate on our videos? Stupid people, racist
Men,
people, misogynistic people. Yeah, literally white racist incel men, and we don't give a fuck about their
literally
opinions.
stay away.
Like comment all you want, but we genuinely could not care less. And the fact that you dislike it means it's good. Like if a racist,
That's the point.
yeah, if a racist thinks that our podcast episodes are wrong, then that means they're right. Like
That means
hello,
we did a good job.
that means we ate. So that's also a thing. Like don't, I know it's easier said than done, but some people are genuinely not worth changing your views for or changing your hobbies for. And okay, if
Most people.
most people like, obviously if I did something and you came up to me and you were like, yo, you should be embarrassed that you did that, that's a really messed up thing to do, like don't do that, then I would reconsider what I just did and think about it and reflect on it a little bit. But if someone came up to me and they were like, your podcast channel is so fucking embarrassing, delete it, I would not give a shit.
Period.
And it
As
takes a
fuck.
lot to get there. It does, but you can get there.
And also, I feel like in the global sphere we live in, due to like globalization, technology, and social media, predominantly, I know it is a very negative space a lot of the time, but social exclusion is less likely than ever because you're not in the same bubble that you don't get born and die in the same bubble. You're able to travel, you're able to go to primary school in one city, go to secondary school in another city, and go to uni in another city or in another country or in another continent even. You can go places, and even if you can't, there's social media with which you can communicate. And I know there's a lot of hate there, but it's also people do really find their community there.
For
So
sure.
it can be a good place for you to feel not embarrassed
Yeah,
about what you're doing. And at the end of the day, you really shouldn't be embarrassed because you're doing what you love, and that's truly something to be proud of.
genuinely. And obviously, we still think embarrassment has that evolutionary purpose that it was originally made for, but that's also not working for everyone. Let's keep that in mind. Oh, and also, when you feel embarrassed about something that you think is just about you, and it's like, okay, I feel embarrassed about this, but when I see it on other people, of course it's not embarrassing, like it's just on me, I don't like it. For example, brown eyes, or for example, having a certain body type, having a certain voice, or I don't fucking know, a speech impediment, stuff like that, where where you're like, I'm just embarrassed about it. It's not just you. When you voice that insecurity or that embarrassment, you're setting your whole community back. So think about it a little bit more, please.
Because it's like, if I'm embarrassed, like, I'm not embarrassed about it for other people, but I'm embarrassed about it for me, it means, oh, I have that same thing, so I should probably be embarrassed too. And that might not be the message you're intending to send out, but it is what people receive.
Yeah, and also, same goes for hating on other people. Like, you imagine there's a horrible, horrible person out there, and they also happen to be ugly as fuck. in your humble opinion, and you say like, oh, his face is so fucking ugly, I've never seen something horrible like that, he's never gonna see it. But a lookalike of him is gonna see that, and that might be a good person, and now you're hurting that good person. What the fuck? So don't hate on stuff like that, please.
Literally, don't be embarrassed. It's a waste of your time.
Yeah, and even if you're embarrassed, you have to ignore it.
Like, think of what could be. Think of your goal and think of, wow, I could literally be doing that, but embarrassment is holding me back. And it's like,
Genuinely.
you need to pick you.
Yeah, and do you know how many people have become famous because of something they were originally embarrassed about?
True, and like, you don't got to do it to become famous. You got to do it because you feel passion for it. That's the point of it, right?
For sure, yeah.
Period. I feel like this was a good 20th episode for us
I agree. It was so nice.
because we were also once the embarrassed.
Yeah, and we still feel embarrassment
We
because it's
still
a
are,
normal
but it's
emotion to
yeah.
feel, but now
But
we
we're
are
at least doing it despite feeling embarrassed.
exactly. Like you can feel one way and then act a different way, and it's going to be harder, but you can do it. It's going to take time, but you can work towards it, and it's going to be worth it in the end for sure. We still feel embarrassments from time to time, but we don't let it stop us anymore.
Period. Don't be driven by embarrassment.
Exactly. Okay, be driven by this episode.
Period. This is your sign to do what you want
Yes.
and what makes you feel complete and happy and good.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
As long as you're not hurting anyone.
Of course.
Okay,
Be
that
for
was
real.
it.
And as long as it's not discriminatory.
Yes. If you want to see more of us, you can find our podcast episodes on Spotify and YouTube every other Friday at 5 p.m. CET. You can also watch our YouTube channel, After Hours TV, also every other Friday at 11 p.m. CET. We also have social media, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. The links for that are in the description. Thank you for listening to our episode.
And thank you for being here. The 20th,
Yeah, the 20th episode.
for our G's who be watching.
Yeah,
We see you,
there's
we love
people
you.
who literally have watched all 20 episodes.
Literally, we cannot like we need to say this with more passion, but we really do
We really appreciate
it and are very grateful.
Yeah, we are.
And we do really love doing this.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
That's why we do it.
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Bye.